Hello everyone, welcome to Nature Days. I'm Brianne and today we're going to talk about nocturnal animals. But first, we should make sure everyone knows what nocturnal means. Nocturnal animals are animals that are mostly active at night. There's also a word for animals that are active during the day. That word is diurnal. A lot of diurnal animals are the ones you see often, like squirrels, hawks, or butterflies. Did you know that there's a word for animals that are mostly active at dusk and dawn, those periods of time when day becomes night and night becomes day? People are always really impressed if you know this one. It's crepuscular. Crepuscular animals are most active at dusk and dawn. These animals include rabbits, deer, and opossums. But we'll come back to that later. Our focus today is on nocturnal animals. Can you think of any animals that are active at night when most of us are asleep? Maybe some of you might have thought of owls. A lot of owls are nocturnal. Not all of them. There are over 200 different species of owls in the world, and some of them are diurnal or crepuscular. But the 8 species of owls you can find in Pennsylvania are mostly nocturnal. Owls are predators, which means they hunt other animals for food. Smaller owls, like screech owls, might eat mostly insects, while larger owls, like great horned owls, might eat rabbits, skunks, or even other smaller owls. But how can they find their food in the dark? They have very sharp vision that lets them see well, even in dim light. But they rely a lot on their hearing. Owls' ears are not symmetrical. They don't sit at the same spot on both sides of their head like your ears do. Because of this, they are very good at pinpointing exactly where a sound is coming from. This allows them to swoop down and catch their prey even in darkness. But if you can't see owls in the dark, how do you know they're around? Usually by their calls. I don't currently have access to calls I can add to this video, but Cornell's website, allaboutbirds.org, is a wonderful resource for listening to bird calls. I recommend you check out the great horned owl, barred owl, and eastern screech owl for some of the very distinctive species you might hear in our area. Another way to know that owls are around are by finding owl pellets. Owls swallow their prey whole, but they can't digest the bones or fur of the animals they eat. They will regurgitate or throw up a pellet made of these. You can actually break it apart and look at the bones to figure out what kinds of animals the owl was eating. Owls are fascinating birds. If you want to encourage owls to live around your house, you can even put up an owl box, just like you might put up a birdhouse for songbirds. Our next animal also flies through the night, but it's not a bird. It's a bat. I should say that once again, some bats are diurnal or crepuscular. There are over 1,300 species of bats, so they have some different characteristics. While some bats eat fruit, and just 3 of those 1,300 species drink blood, all 9 of the bats found in Pennsylvania eat insects. How do the bats catch insects in the dark, though? Bats are not blind like many people think. They actually have good eyesight. But bats have a special method of locating their prey that doesn't rely on their eyesight. It's called echolocation. The way that this works is that the bats give off high-pitched squeaks, higher pitch than we are able to hear, and the sound waves bounce off objects around them, whether obstacles or prey. When those sound waves bounce back to the bat's ears, they're able to determine where and what the objects are. They're very agile flyers and able to react quickly to the prey's movement. Bats are really important in keeping the numbers of certain insects, like mosquitoes, down. 3 of our bat species, though, the northern long-eared bat, little brown bat, and tricolor bat, are now endangered, and a few others are seeing their numbers greatly decrease because of a fungus called white nose syndrome. So we want to do whatever we can to help the bats we still have. Just like songbirds and owls, you can support bats by putting up bat boxes at your house to give them a safe place to sleep. Our third nocturnal animal is not a bird like the owl, or a mammal like the bat, but an insect. There are many nocturnal insects, but the one we're talking about today is the firefly, also known as the lightning bug. Now, some of you might be wondering, wait, are some fireflies diurnal or crepuscular? Well, the answer is yes. Many fireflies are crepuscular, actually. And the diurnal ones aren't as easy to recognize as fireflies because they usually don't give off light. That's how most of us know fireflies, by the blinking lights we see during summer evenings. There are over 2,000 different species, and a few dozen of them can be found in Pennsylvania. But how do fireflies light up? They have special organs containing a substance called luciferin. When they take in oxygen, they can combine it with the luciferin to give off light. This is called bioluminescence. Fireflies don't just light up and stay lit up, though. They blink. Different species blink in different patterns. This is how they attract a mate. A lot of the fireflies you see flashing their lights while flying around are males. The females are often in the grass or bushes, and they blink back in response. There are some species, though, where the female will blink in the pattern of a different species to lure those males down and eat them. Some fireflies will form big groups and flash in unison or all at the same time. We have some of those in Pennsylvania. Each year, there is a Pennsylvania Firefly Festival in the Allegheny National Forest to celebrate and observe these fascinating little insects. This year, it's going to be online, and it's happening this Saturday, June 27th. If you'd like to check it out, you can find the link below. This is a wonderful way to learn more about fireflies. If you're interested in fireflies and want to learn more about which ones are in your area and help scientists keep track of them too, you can join a Firefly Watch. This citizen science project was started by the Massachusetts Audubon Society, but they collect data from all over North America. All that you need to do is spend at least 10 minutes once a week through firefly season observing firefly flashes in one spot. Your yard or a nearby field are good options for this. You can find a chart on their website that lets you identify the most common firefly species by their flash pattern. Just keep track of the fireflies you see and submit the information on the Firefly Watch website. This is a great activity to do together as a family. If you'd like to participate or just to find out more about the project or fireflies in general, you can find the link below. I hope that you've all learned something interesting about nocturnal animals today. We just talked about a couple of different species, but there are so many more nocturnal animals out there. You could borrow a book on them from the library if you'd like to learn about more of those species. When you go to sleep tonight, take a minute to think about all of the animals going about their business in the dark. Happy Nature Days, everyone! Or maybe I should say, Happy Nature Nights!